Can we talk? I'm at the bank trying to withdraw money for the kids' daycare and other expenses, but there's no money in the account. I couldn't even withdraw $100. Do you know anything about this?
Wasn't that payment due later?
Yeah, but I specifically marked it on our shared calendar a few days ago because I knew I would have time today. I wanted to pay it while I had time during lunch since I might forget if I put it off. Why isn't there any money in the account?
Oh yeah, I withdrew it because I needed it.
You withdrew money from our family account without discussing it with me?
I didn't think it was a big deal. I needed it urgently.
Tom, this is serious. What was so urgent that you had to empty our account without telling me?
Just some stuff I needed.
What exactly did you need? We agreed to discuss any major withdrawals.
Various things, but mainly for the gaming console that released last week.
Gaming? Wait, you bought a new gaming console? I haven't seen one at home.
I kept it somewhere else because you get mad if I play games at home. I needed the money to buy the new console and some games I want to play.
Where exactly are you keeping it, and how much did this cost?
At a friend's place. It wasn't that much.
Tom, give me the exact amount. How much did you spend?
About $800 with the games and everything. What about it?
$800 from our family account? How many times have I told you that this account is for living expenses and the children's education? When you want to buy personal items, use your own savings or money.
What else could I do? It was expensive, and I don't have any money in my account.
What happened to your last paycheck? Wasn't payday last week?
It all went to credit card payments.
All of it? What have you been buying that maxed out all your credit cards?
Just stuff I needed. Some golf equipment, new clothes for work.
Golf equipment? Since when do you play golf?
I need to start. It's important for work connections.
You've been shopping that much? I asked you not to waste money, didn't I? We reviewed our income and expenses together and calculated monthly spending limits. Why would you ignore the budgets we set together?
There are things I absolutely need to buy. What can I do?
Like what? What is so essential that you had to take money meant for our children's daycare?
You wouldn't understand. Men need certain things to maintain their status at work.
It's all because of your extravagant spending. Since what's spent is spent, you'll definitely put the money back in from next month's paycheck, right?
Yeah, I'll put it back.
I need you to promise me this can't happen again.
Okay, I'll put it back. Stop nagging.
Don't touch this account anymore. We can't sustain our lifestyle if this continues. We need to buy things for the kids and pay for daycare. This is already an expensive time for us.
It's fine if we use credit cards. We can just leave the payments to our future selves.
That kind of thinking is why you're always spending so much and ending up with no money.
I'm just having faith in our future selves. We'll earn more later.
We'll go bankrupt at this rate. We might need money for emergencies. What if one of the kids gets sick?
Never mind that. I have something to ask.
What now?
Where'd you hide the kids' bank books?
What? Why are you asking about that?
I was cleaning the house and couldn't find them. You hid them, didn't you?
Since when do you clean? You've never even changed a diaper.
That's not the point. Where are they?
Wait a minute, you never clean the house or do any housework. What's gotten into you? You're not planning to touch the kids' accounts, are you?
I suddenly have to go golfing with the CEO and his wife tomorrow, and then we're going drinking afterward. I need some money. Golfing is expensive.
Is this why you were looking for the bank books? Absolutely not!
Come on, it's for work. This is important networking.
Are you even listening to yourself? You can't steal from our children for golf.
They've got money from birth gifts, birthday presents, New Year's money, and school entrance celebrations. Not like they're using it.
That's because they're children. That money is for their future.
They'll get more celebrations in the future. And they get New Year's money every year. Using a bit won't hurt.
You are unbelievable. Do you know how hard our parents worked to save that money for them?
That's exactly my point. My parents contributed a lot to those accounts.
Yes, for their grandchildren, not for you to spend on golf.
But kids don't understand the value of money, and they have nothing to use for it right now.
They might need it in the future. College isn't free, you know.
That's years away. We can always save more later.
Like how you're saving now by maxing out credit cards?
Don't start with that again. And at least give me the portion for my parents.
What? Are you serious?
The money from my parents is practically mine. They've given quite a bit, haven't they? Come on, hand it over.
Your parents specifically said it was for their grandchildren's education.
They won't know if we use a little bit.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. This is theft, Tom.
It's not theft if it's family money.
I keep telling you, all that money was given to the children. No matter what you say, I won't let you touch the children's money. If I let you once, you'll probably use up all the money in their accounts.
You don't trust me at all, do you?
How can I when you've already emptied our joint account for a gaming console?
That was different. This is for work.
In fact, if you can't handle money responsibly, you're not giving me any choice. I'll have to put you on a daily allowance system.
What? Why should you control my wallet? I'm not a child.
Then stop acting like one. You're trying to steal from your own children.
I'm not stealing. I'm borrowing.
When exactly would you pay it back? With what money?
When I get my promotion. The CEO really likes me.
Because you can't handle money responsibly. As a result, you're trying to touch money that shouldn't be touched.
You're impossible. No wonder the guys at work say their wives are more understanding.
Oh, and which wives would those be?
Never mind. This is ridiculous. Fine, I'll use my secret savings.
Secret savings? What secret savings?
None of your business.
Good evening. I'm Amanda, the CEO's wife from Tom's company. We met at last year's company party and had such a lovely chat. I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. I've been so busy. Oh, hello, Amanda. Yes, I remember you. That was quite a party. Your blue dress was stunning that night. Tom couldn't stop talking about how proud he was to have such a beautiful wife. That's kind of you to say. Thank you for always taking care of my husband. I heard he's going golfing with you and your husband today, followed by drinks. Yes, we had such a wonderful time. Tom is quite the natural at golf. Really? Well, that's surprising since he just started. Oh, has he not played before? He seemed so comfortable on the course. I see. And now you're all having drinks? I'm sorry we're keeping your husband so late when you have young children. Actually, he's drinking at our house right now. At your house? Oh, he said you'd be at a restaurant. I'm so sorry he's imposing on you this late. I can come pick him up right away if you'll share your address. Oh, no. Oh, please don't worry. Our home is quite spacious. And Tom seems so comfortable here already. Already? Has he been there before? Oh, I just meant he's very adaptable. We have plenty of rooms, and since I don't drink, my husband is happy to have someone to drink with. Is he not causing any trouble? He can be quite loose-tongued when drinking. Not at all. He's been telling the most fascinating stories about your family life. What kind of stories? Just little things. About how strict you are with money, how you never let him enjoy himself. I see. Actually, I wanted to ask, would it be all right if we borrowed your husband for the night? Pardon? Borrowed? Could we let him stay over? Both my husband and Tom are quite drunk, and I think it would be better if they rested here. That's why I reached out to you. This seems rather unusual for a work gathering. Oh, this is quite normal in our circles. My husband often has colleagues stay over. And you're comfortable with that arrangement? Of course, I take pride in being a generous hostess. Besides, Tom has stayed here before. Before? When was this? Oh, I meant it would be like he's stayed here before. He fits in so well with us. I see. It seems we're causing you even more trouble. It would be difficult for both Tom and you if he went home in this state, and I'm sure your children are sleeping. It would be a shame if they woke up. We don't mind at all, so we'll let him stay and send him home tomorrow. What time should I expect him? Oh, whenever he wakes up naturally. No need to rush on our account. Thank you for your consideration. I'll take you up on your kind offer. Thank you so much. I know it's an imposition, but please take care of him. While I have you, may I meddle in one more thing? What is it? Tom was just complaining about something while drinking. Complaining? About what exactly? About how you control him, the money situation specifically. Did he mention that he tried to take money from our children's accounts today? I hear you keep a tight hold on his purse strings. I know it's not my place to interfere with other households' finances, but as a fellow wife, I'm concerned. Concerned about what exactly? My husband is a CEO, you know. As women, as wives supporting our husbands, I believe we should let men maintain their dignity. And dignity requires unlimited access to money? Men need to feel powerful, Sarah. They need freedom to make their own choices. Even when those choices hurt their family? A wife shouldn't control her husband's wallet. If you tighten the purse strings too much, men will look elsewhere. Elsewhere? I can't be explicit, but you know how men are. They're always looking for freedom. You shouldn't make them feel confined. And you're speaking from experience? Let's just say I understand men's needs better than most wives. Thank you for the advice. My husband has a tendency to overspend and can't handle money responsibly. Since we have children, we're trying to discuss and decide on how to use money for our family's future. Men are always like children seeking freedom. It's up to us women to nurture them with a generous heart. Nurture? That's how I nurtured my husband into someone who doesn't worry about money, and thanks to that, I don't want for anything either. I imagine being a CEO's wife makes that easier. Oh, it's not about the money, it's about understanding what men need. And what do they need in your experience? Freedom, adventure, excitement, things that conventional wives often fail to provide. I see. Well, every marriage is different. How old are your children? 5 and 2? Such demanding ages. It must be hard managing them alone while Tom works so hard. Yes, especially since I work full-time too. Oh, you work? I thought you were a stay-at-home mother. No, I've always worked, even through both pregnancies. Our company has never had a male employee take paternity leave before, so I'm sorry we couldn't let Tom take any time off either. Excuse me? When your baby was born, such a shame he couldn't help more. That's strange. Tom told me he took 2 weeks of paternity leave, although he didn't spend much time helping around the house. Oh, I must be thinking of someone else. No, I distinctly remember because he said he told his company he wanted time off and was overjoyed when he was given 2 weeks, only to spend most of that time out with his friends. Did he? Oh, but his salary will definitely increase in the future as my husband's right-hand man, so as a wife, you should try not to make Tom feel too restricted. Well, I'm sorry for messaging so late. Good night. Wait, what do you mean by right-hand man? Oh, just that my husband has special plans for Tom's future. Nothing concrete yet. I see. Good night, then. Tom, we need to talk about your paternity leave.
What about it?
I had an interesting chat with Amanda. She said your company never gives paternity leave, even though you took 2 weeks off from work when I was having both children.
She must be confused.
Or am I confused about where you really were those 2 weeks?
Drop it, Sarah.
Were you even in the country? You said you were out with friends, but how much of that is really true?
I said drop it.
You took the kids' bank books, even though I hid them. Don't tell me you've withdrawn money. That money is for the children's future. You absolutely cannot use it.
Found them in your sock drawer. Not very creative.
How much did you take?
I need it for golfing with the CEO and his wife again. It's just a few $100s. Don't worry about it.
A few hundred? Put it back right now.
It's already spent. I needed new clubs.
Even if it's just a few hundred, even if it's just once, if you touch that money, you'll end up using it all. Absolutely not.
Stop nagging. Didn't Amanda teach you about being a proper wife?
What does Amanda have to do with this?
She told me about your line chat, about how controlling you are.
You and Amanda seem to talk a lot about me.
She understands what a wife should be.
But the CEO's family and our family have completely different incomes, situations, and family structures. We have our own way of doing things.
Even though Amanda was kind enough to give you advice, she really understands men's needs.
And what needs would those be?
Freedom, support, understanding, everything you don't give me.
Never mind that. Bring the bank books back right now. I won't forgive you if you withdraw even $1.
Too late. We're already done.
What? You really withdrew money from the children's accounts without permission?
I told you, I have the right to use the portion for my parents. I'm sick of you being so controlling. I wish I had a generous wife like Amanda.
A generous wife like Amanda? Is that what this is about?
Someone who supports my career growth instead of questioning every expense.
Career growth? Is that what you call drinking at our house?
What are you implying?
Those golf games, those late nights. How often do you really see the CEO at those meetings?
It's none of your business.
It is when you're stealing from our children to fund it.
I've had enough. We're absolutely incompatible when it comes to money management.
Only money management?
What? Want to get divorced? I don't mind. You'll be the one who regrets it.
Really? I'll regret losing a husband who steals from his children?
I provide for this family.
By maxing out credit cards and emptying savings accounts? Fine, I can't take this anymore. Let's get divorced.
Fine. Take all the kids with you. I won't pay child support either.
Put that in writing, why don't you?
Fine. That's what I'll do. I'm done with all of you.
Fine, that's what I'll do.
Get out right now from this house.
Gladly. I'll go to my parents' house with the kids. I'll contact you later about money matters like child support and division of assets. Until then, it's in your best interest not to touch the kids' accounts.
Whatever. Now I can use my salary however I want, and no one will complain about how I spend my money. What a relief. Amanda understands me better anyway.
Oh, I'm sure she does. Say hi to her for me.
Hey, Sarah. Why am I being asked for compensation? What's the certified letter of all these demands?
Did you read it carefully? Every single page?
These numbers are insane. Property division, child support, compensation?
It's a certified letter I prepared after consulting with my lawyer. I think the numbers for property division, child custody, child support, and compensation are all properly calculated with supporting evidence.
What? This is ridiculous. Why should I pay any compensation? What evidence?
Because I found out about your affair. Compensation for that is reasonable, isn't it?
Huh? Affair? What affair?
Should I be more specific? Dates, times, locations?
You're making things up.
When calculating the property division, I investigated the ATM locations where you withdrew money and your credit card statements. The ATM locations and credit card statements showed evidence of your affair. I didn't even need to hire an expensive private investigator. There was plenty of evidence.
You had no right to look into my private spending.
Private spending with our joint account and our children's money?
So you were snooping around behind my back.
Funny how you're more upset about the snooping than being caught.
You're just making assumptions.
Those hotel charges were assumptions. The jewelry store purchases I never saw. The restaurants where you'd supposedly taken clients.
That doesn't prove anything.
You're the one who was sneaking around, having an affair with the CEO's wife of all people.
How did you know it was Amanda?
Thank you for confirming that.
That's not...
When I texted her recently, she mentioned you hadn't taken paternity leave.
Huh?
That's strange, isn't it? 2 years ago, when our younger child was born, you said you took paternity leave from work, but instead of helping with childcare, you went on vacation.
Well, that...
Seems like you didn't coordinate your story with your mistress. But during the period you took paternity leave, the CEO was away on a long overseas business trip, wasn't he? You were living it up at the CEO's house, enjoying a summer vacation under the guise of paternity leave, using the CEO's money.
Have you told the CEO?
I filed for compensation from his wife, too, so it's only a matter of time.
You wouldn't dare.
The papers are already filed. Would you like me to forward you a copy?
No! This is bad! If this gets out, I'll be fired!
Should have thought about that before stealing from our children to fund your affair.
I can explain everything.
To me or to the CEO? The certified letter has already been delivered, so try to handle this responsibly. I'm waiting for your response to the letter.
Wait! Sarah! We can work this out!
Through our lawyers.
I've been told to move out. Why do I have to leave?
Have you forgotten? Who do you think made it possible to live in that house?
What do you mean?
You seem to have completely forgotten. That house is employee housing from my company. The divorce was finalized through the lawyers last week, and since we're no longer family, you have no right to live there.
Employee housing? Huh? Your company?
Did you never once wonder why our rent was so low for such a nice place?
What are you talking about?
The reason we could live in such a spacious 3-bedroom apartment near the station for just $900 is because it's company housing.
$900? Is this apartment really that cheap?
For this area, market rate would be at least $2,500.
But I thought...
You didn't even pay the rent yourself, so you had no idea. You just kept spending recklessly with no savings, and your monthly salary mostly went to credit card payments for things you bought expecting your future self to pay for. You only contributed $200 a month to the household.
But I'm supposed to become the CEO's right-hand man and get a raise in the future.
Still believing that fantasy after everything?
Amanda promised.
After having an affair with the CEO's wife, do you think you'll earn more than me? I make more than twice what you do.
Wait a minute. You earn more than twice what I do?
Why do you think we could afford this lifestyle?
How much exactly do you make?
How do you think we lived so comfortably when you barely contributed any money to the household?
Well, I just thought, with savings and using all your salary, we could manage somehow.
While you spent money on games and golf?
Make it sound so bad.
So you thought it was fine to spend money on games and things you want while my entire salary went to living expenses?
I work hard every day.
And I don't? Who gets up at 5 a.m. to prepare everything for the kids?
That's different. I work in an office.
We both work every day. I did all the housework and childcare by myself, but you still think you worked harder?
Men and women have different roles.
Yes, apparently your role was to empty our accounts while having an affair. I understand now just how self-centered you are. We can live just fine on my salary like before, so we don't need you.
You can't just throw me out.
Actually, I can. The housing office already approved it.
Give me some time to find a place.
Since the divorce is final and we're strangers now, let's just clear up the financial matters through the lawyers.
Wait. I'm about to lose my home and my job in this situation. Because you explained everything to my parents first, they're saying they'll cut ties with me.
Oh, you've spoken with them? What did they say about the money you took from their grandchildren?
They're overreacting, just like you.
Don't you have the generous CEO's wife? Why don't ask her for help?
About that. Amanda just texted me saying she's been kicked out of her house penniless. She's saying she's coming to stay here.
Here? In my company housing?
She has nowhere else to go.
Why don't you help her move and look for a place to live together?
That's irresponsible.
Now you're talking about responsibility?
This isn't funny.
You got married, had children, had an affair, spent the money meant for the children, and drove your family to ruin. Aren't you the irresponsible one?
Just talk to your company. At least help me stay here a little longer. Please, Sarah. You know I don't have enough money to move right away.
Since we're divorced, there's nothing I can do. Talking about money with you is pointless, so I'm leaving everything to the lawyer.
What about the kids? Don't they need their father?
Child support is the top priority, so at least try to fulfill your responsibility as a father.
How am I supposed to pay child support when I have no job and nowhere to live?
It's a question you should have asked yourself before starting an affair with your boss's wife.
Wait! Sarah! I don't have any money!
Goodbye, Tom.
Sarah, please. Can I at least see the kids?
When you start making child support payments, we can discuss visitation.
I'm doing day labor now. It's barely enough to eat.
Welcome to the consequences of your actions.
Amanda left me.
Oh?
She couldn't handle living in a cheap apartment. Said she needs her lifestyle.
Ironic, isn't it? Having a partner who can't handle money responsibly.
I get it now. I really get it.
Too little, too late. Through the lawyer, we settled on my ex-husband repaying the money he had misappropriated, with minimal property division, plus child support and compensation, along with repayment of the money he had taken without permission. He lost his job and hasn't been successful in finding new employment, so he's barely getting by with day labor jobs. Apparently, he and the CEO's wife briefly moved into a cheap apartment together, but he ended up leaving her because she couldn't break her expensive spending habits from her life as a CEO's wife. I think he might finally understand a bit of what it feels like to have a partner who wastes money, and I hope that he finally realizes that he got what he deserved, and that he has no one to blame but himself for losing the happiness we once shared.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hey, Kate, I heard the news. You're getting married, right? You know better than not to tell me, don't you? If you're a member of my class, then you have to report everything to me. Don't you remember this rule? What do you mean by rule? How many years do you think have passed since we graduated from high school, Monica? No matter how many years pass, the rule still applies. Come on, we're classmates for God's sake. Isn't it common sense that you should tell me that you're getting married? No, it really isn't. But I mean, I do understand why you were embarrassed to tell me that you were getting married to that skinny nerd. I still can't believe that the nerdiest couple in school is getting married. What? You know, I seriously thought that it was a joke when I first found out. I mean, what are the odds that all of the high school sweethearts you two survive? Now you're getting married. What a shocker. I mean, you two do in fact go well with each other, given the glasses and the braces. Could you stop making fun of us for once? We're not children anymore, and I'm tired of your nonsense. You think that you're one of the pretty girls, right? Well, good for you, but no one cares. So I suggest that you stop acting entitled to make fun of others. Is the nerd talking back to me? You know, you shouldn't get so full of yourself just because you're going to get married. Since when was I ever full of myself? Quit acting dumb. You know that you're acting full of yourself. You're looking down on me because I'm still single. Just because you got married before me doesn't mean that you're above me in any way. I'd rather be single than be a nerd married to a nerd. And I know for a fact that you two are poor. What makes you think we're poor? I could already tell before we even graduated from high school. You nerds with no social skills will never be able to create or land opportunities for yourselves. Your fate was decided before you were even born. Imagine being ugly and poor. Please do society a favor and don't make any kids, alright? Because you'll just make the world a more miserable place. Don't you dare say anything about my future children. I make my own decisions, and you're in no place to say anything about them. You bullied me every single day while I was in high school, but I didn't let people like you drag me down and got to where I am all on my own. Just so you know, I work at the company that I'd always dreamt of working since I was a child, and Stuart was able to make his dream of becoming a doctor come true as well. What? That useless nerd is a doctor now? Yes, and that's because no matter what anyone else said, we always had each other through everything. And now we're finally getting married. There's no point in you bothering me anymore. I'm already exactly where I want to be. But how? So you're getting married to a doctor? How is that fair? Why do you get to live the rest of your life relying on your high-income doctor husband? I mean, I have no intention of relying on him completely since I work too, but it's true that he's making much more money than me. I never knew exactly how much a doctor makes, but let's just say that he makes a lot. This isn't fair. I just got rejected by a doctor a while ago. How does it make sense that I get rejected and a nerd like you gets to marry a doctor? I won't allow that to happen. What do you mean? I'm telling you to cancel the marriage right now. I don't allow you two to marry. So I need you to break up with each other. Are you crazy? What on earth makes you think that your selfish needs would be a reason for us to break up with each other? We're almost done preparing for the wedding, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Do you really think that you can just get married before me like this? And the nerd is now a high-income earning doctor. You know what? If you won't break up with him, then hand him over to me so I can marry him instead. I will not allow you to become anything more than what you really are, a nerdy lowlife. Have you lost your mind? You listen to what the popular girl says. This rule has been in place since high school, and it still applies. Make a choice. You can either break up with him or hand him over to me right now.
Hey, Kate, we need to talk.
Yeah, what's up?
I need you to break up with me. I found someone else that I feel a stronger connection with, and I think that I'll regret it for the rest of my life if I don't choose her.
What?
I know that we're about to get married, but as I said, if I lie to myself now, then I'll probably regret it forever. There's someone that I want to love and take care of for the rest of my life. I'm sorry, but my mind is already made up.
But what do you mean?
I probably wouldn't know what to say if I were in your shoes too, but I need you to understand. I really was looking forward to marrying you, and you're an amazing person. But I found someone that I feel something that I've never felt towards anyone else before.
We've been preparing for this wedding for months now. You told me that I was the love of your life when you proposed to me. We stayed beside each other through thick and thin since high school. Are you really saying that this person is worth disregarding all that for? I can't believe you.
I'm sorry. It really does break my heart, but the person that I'd always admired for years finally reached out to me, and I need to be honest with my heart. I've been dreaming of being with her for so long, and I can't let this chance get away.
Someone that you'd always admired?
Yeah, I'm sure you remember her. She used to be in the same class as us when we were in high school. Her name is Monica.
Monica?
Yeah, we found each other out of nowhere.
What do you mean?
Well, I was just shopping by myself and we just stumbled upon each other. I mean, she was the prettiest girl out of the whole grade. How could I not recognize her? But I never expected her to recognize me back since I was such a quiet nerd back then. She tapped on my shoulder and started talking to me.
What?
She suggested that we go get some coffee and do some catching up. Right as we were leaving, she asked me if I wanted to be her boyfriend. And I've never told you this before, but I'd always admired her since the first day of high school, so I ended up saying yes before even thinking.
Wait, you liked Monica since we were in high school? Why didn't you tell me before we started dating?
I mean, I obviously had no chance to date her, so why would I say that and embarrass myself? If I had told anyone, I'm sure a rumor would have been going around by the next day. It's just that the way she carries herself around with such confidence, it's something that I'd never be able to do. And you gotta understand how attractive that is through a nerd's eyes. I've always wanted to make a girl like that my girlfriend. The chance is finally here.
Always? You've thought in that way since we were dating each other too?
I mean, of course, I liked you too. I felt really safe around you, and like someone finally truly understood me without judging me for being a nerd. But at the same time, I often found myself doubting whether I liked you or I just liked your company.
Seriously?
Yeah, but then again, I'd always believed that only a nerdy girl would marry a nerdy guy like me, so I believed that you were the best option that I had. And that's the reason why I proposed to you. But all that fell apart when the popular girl whom I'd always wanted to date had finally noticed my worth. Now I'm just committed to making Monica the happiest girl in the world.
But just like that? I've loved you for so long. I still admire you every single day, just like the first time we met. You're still the first person that I think about when I wake up. Are you just going to betray me like this? We've supported each other for so long.
Thank you so much for everything, Kate. I wouldn't have made it to where I am without you. But I'm in love, and if you truly wish the best for me, then I want you to let me go. I wish the best for you.
Wow, I genuinely don't know what to say. This was the kind of person that you were? Fine, I'll break up with you, and the marriage is cancelled. Just don't ever show up in front of me again. I never want to see your face again.
Okay, I'm going to turn in the marriage certificate now. I hope you have a good life, Kate.
Hey, Kate, how are you? Because I'm feeling great. Why, you ask? Well, as you've heard from Stuart, I'm getting married. Sorry for taking your Prince Charming away from you. Why would you do this to me? You can't just show up in front of a former classmate after a few years and ruin her life like that. How is that fair? Look, I gave you a choice at the beginning. You get to choose whether you were going to break up with him or hand him over to me. Since you never broke up with him, I assumed that you chose to hand him over to me. You know, if anyone, you should blame yourself for your indecisiveness. What kind of logic is that? This is the same logic that applied ever since we were in high school. The nerdy, quiet kids listen to whatever the pretty, popular kids say. Have you forgotten? Grow up, for God's sakes. Whatever. Well, our marriage was just ruined thanks to you. So I'll be suing you for whatever compensation I can get. Do you think I care? My husband's now a doctor who earns hundreds of thousands a year. I mean, he was absolutely zero interest to me when we were in high school. But he really stepped up his game, didn't he? He was pretty well groomed and looked like he finally knew how to dress up. And he's a doctor on top of that. There couldn't be a man more worthy of being my husband. Are you seriously not giving me an apology for stealing my fiancé? Why would I apologize to you? I took what was rightfully mine from you. If his heart belongs to me, then it's only natural that he chooses to marry me over you. I feel so bad for you. You started off as a nerd, and now you're still a nerd, just single. You lost against me and everything there is to life. I'll pay you whatever amount that you want, but don't ask me to apologize to you, idiot. Wow, I never knew that someone could look down on others so badly. You know, I never asked to be in the same class as you. I never asked to be a part of your popularity race. Yet, you have to involve everyone and look down on them, just so you can feel better about yourself. I'm tired of your games. Good for you. Those on top of the hierarchy have a natural right to rule over those below them, and the queen wanted your fiancé, so she got him. You know, I do kind of feel bad for you though. You were so close to becoming rich and winning the race, but then came me again. I'll be enjoying the rest of my life with my Dr. Stewart. What are you talking about? Stewart's not a doctor. What? Stewart's no longer a doctor. He's just some normal office worker that you could find anywhere. He makes less than even me. If you're trying to become rich, then marrying him probably isn't the smartest way. Wait, what do you mean he's not a doctor anymore? Marrying him wouldn't have led me to becoming rich anyway, so I have no regret in letting you take him from me. What? I really loved him, and that's why I wanted to marry him. But since he wasn't half the person I thought he was, I hope you have a good life with each other. Wait a minute, answer my question. What do you mean that he's not a doctor anymore? You told me that he became a doctor. What's the point of marrying him if he isn't a doctor? I said that he became a doctor because he did. He was a doctor up until a little while ago, but he changed career paths. What? What does that mean? He quit the medical field and moved to another job. Because he's just starting off in that job, so he's barely making anything more than just a part-timer. I currently make twice the amount that he makes. What? Wait a minute. Why on earth would he quit being a doctor and start a job that barely pays him anything? I can't marry someone who barely gets paid more than a part-timer. Thinking back to it now, the only reason that he wanted to become a doctor was because he wanted a job that would be respected by others, and money was second priority. But his only drive was his complexity of being bullied by people like you in high school. So, he couldn't take the workload of a doctor. What? Yeah, getting into med school and getting his medical license only required him to study, which he was pretty good at. But actually being a doctor was a whole different story, and he needed to communicate with patients and work together with other nurses. It looked like he couldn't do that part very well, so he ended up quitting. So you're telling me that he quit his job as a doctor and moved to another occupation because he couldn't talk to other people? Well, I recommended him to change occupations. He started getting skinnier and skinnier by the day, and I couldn't bear to keep watching. I wasn't even sure if he would make it to the wedding healthy. And he just quit his job as a doctor and started another job with zero experience. And he barely gets paid anything on top of that, right? I mean, I get paid enough to take care for the two of us, so that aspect didn't seem like a problem to me. I just told him not to worry about the financial aspect. How much do you make anyway? It's not as much as a doctor, but I make a little more than $70,000 per year. 70,000? You? How are you managing to make so much? Because the real world isn't the same as high school. No one unreasonably decides that they're above you and disregards your efforts for everything. They value you for the value that you provide them. And I guess I'm relatively valuable to the company that I work for. Wait, so how much is Stuart making right now then? You said that he makes as much as a part-timer. Like, so 50,000, right? Do you seriously think that a part-timer makes that much? I don't think that his annual salary even reaches $30,000 a year. So probably a bit over 20,000? A bit over 20,000? He only makes that much. Yeah, that's why I said I never intended to marry him for the money anyway. I never cared about his income or his social status, but regardless of everything that we've been through, I never want to marry someone who just throws their significant other like that. I feel nothing towards him anymore, so do as you please with him. But I don't want him either. I can't marry someone who only makes $20,000 a year. I'm calling the marriage off. You can have him back right away. I don't want to take care of a piece of trash like him, so I won't be accepting your offer. By the way, it might be too late to call the wedding off. Stuart texted me a few hours ago that he was going to turn in the marriage certificate. What? Yeah, so you better hurry. I've heard that it's going to be a hassle to do something about a marriage certificate that it's been already turned in. Good luck. I can't believe him. He turned in the certificate without me. The workers keep telling me that I can't do anything about it if the papers have already been signed. Damn it! Why did I have to sign the paper in advance? Congratulations. I hope you and Stuart live happily ever after together. Shut up! I can't believe this. I'm the most popular in the grade. How do I end up with some antisocial nerd who can't even make a decent amount of money? I'm supposed to marry a doctor who's gonna let me live like a princess. How do I possibly end up with an office worker? I will not allow someone like that to be my husband. Well, it looks like the two of you are legally official now. Oh wait, I have a good idea. Would you like me to let everyone from our grade know that the two of you got married? Of course you would. It's part of the class rules, and you love your rules, don't you? Don't you dare. I'll have nowhere to go if everyone finds out that I'm married to that nerd. Do you think so? I feel like everyone's gonna congratulate you on your happy marriage. Shut up! Now tell me what to do about this situation right now. Because Stuart is refusing to get divorced with me, no matter how many times I ask him. He just says that he doesn't want to, since we just got married. That nerd doesn't know his place anymore. Come on, Monica. You don't have to call him that nerd. You should call him my husband. I will not allow him to be my husband. Why don't you take him back from me then? What do you mean? I need a reason to get divorced from him. And you want the love of your life back, don't you? This is a win-win situation. I'll treat him like trash, and he'll want you back right away. Why would I want him back? What do you mean? I wouldn't want an idiot who's dumb enough to throw away true love for some childish reason. You could try and call everyone from our high school class and ask them for help. I'm sure everyone would want to help the popular pretty girl. As I said, I don't want to tell everyone about this. They're gonna find out that I married the nerd, and it will ruin my reputation. Then I suggest that you accept reality and just stay married with him. You can't have everything. Please. Oh, and make sure to prepare the compensation money that you're going to pay me. What? I'll send you the bill by the end of this month. Make sure to make the payment on time, okay? Or else I might just accidentally slip up and tell the whole class about you stealing my fiancé and marrying him.
Kate, I need you to answer me.
What do you want?
Monica's been acting crazy lately. She was super into me when she first asked me out, but ever since we got married, she's like a completely different person. She won't bother to have any conversation with me. And whenever something doesn't completely meet her expectations, she starts throwing crazy tantrums and abuses me physically and verbally.
Wow, that sounds like a lot to handle.
Obviously, only broke up with you because Monica said that she wanted to live happily ever after with me. Why does she keep screaming that she wants a divorce now?
I have no idea.
And that's not the only thing. She always uses up all my earnings. I tell her to stop, but all she says is that she'll never stop until I divorce her. I don't know what to do anymore.
So what you're saying is that there's an obvious imbalance in the power between you in the relationship?
Exactly. She won't even help out with the housework. Whenever I'm feeling down about work, she just scoffs at me and continues doing her thing. I can't take this anymore. I miss you.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to ask if we could work things out. If I were to get divorced from Monica, then would you be able to marry me by any chance? As soon as you promise that to me, I'll get a divorce done right away and we can get married.
Seriously? Why the hell would I get married to you? You showed exactly how shallow of a person you are when you decided to leave me for some high school diva.
What?
And although it's true that we've been dating since high school, I have no regrets whatsoever about this. And do you not remember me saying that I never want to see your face again? This is goodbye. Hope things work out for you.
Wait, please. I really do regret betraying you the way that I did. I finally realized that you really are my only true love.
If you really like me that much, then I'm sure you'll be able to understand how I feel.
But
if I don't leave you right now, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. You're stuck with who you're married to now, so try to make the most of it. I blocked Monica and Stuart right after ending that conversation. I've heard that Monica's been trying to desperately keep her secret from the rest of the class, but someone spotted her shopping alongside Stuart, and it seems like every single person in our grade knows about it. I heard that Monica absolutely lost it after this, and she reached out to her past friends to help her get out of the marriage, explaining that she got married by accident. But all everyone said was, "You two deserve each other," and no one offered to help.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Gina, are you there? I just have to know if this is true. I heard that your ex-husband is the company president of Grapeco? Like, the one that's on all the magazine covers and stuff? His name is George, isn't it? Excuse me? Why in the world are you talking to me about this, Trish? Well, it's just Ben was letting me look through some old family photos that you had in the house. There was an old photo with you standing next to a man, and I finally recognized who he is. It was so weird because the pictures were old, but I felt like I had seen that man from somewhere. And now I finally realized that he's George Grape, the head of Grapeco. Wow, well, I have to say I'm impressed you could tell from such an old photo. Is that all you have to say about it? That's a little underwhelming, to be honest. Well, I'm afraid there's really not much to get all that excited about. I mean, he wasn't a company president or CEO or whatever when we were going out. I didn't hear that he'd started his own company until after he and I had broken up, but I guess now he's some kind of hot shot in the industry. But why didn't you ever try to fix things with him after you heard about who he was? Think about the life you could have had if you did. You could be posting on Insta every day from a new car or showing off your huge house. Just think about it. You should text him right now and ask him out. I'm sorry, Trish, but I really have no interest at all in getting back together with George. In fact, I don't even know if marrying him would mean getting more money. I remember when we were married, he would always blow through our monthly budgets like it was nothing. He even stole Ben's allowance at times. And in the end, he finally cheated on me and ran off to be with another woman. And so I hope you understand why I have no intention of getting back together with him. Whoa, what? You mean you just forgave him for all that he did and just let him go like that? And now he's a huge deal all over the world? I mean, who cares about what happened in the past if you can milk George for all that he's worth now? You deserve to have nice things, too. Just think of the cars, the mansions, the condos, the vacations, all of it could be yours. Maybe it could, maybe it couldn't, but it really doesn't bother me either way. After all, I don't even want those things. I enjoy my apartment and I enjoy my simple life. It's enough for me. Oh, come on, Gina. You have to be more ambitious than that. What's the point of being satisfied with what you have? You're almost 30 years old and you're still working a dead-end job living in your small apartment. Don't you want more out of life? Aren't you sick of living the way that you are? Just think of where you could be living if you only swallowed your pride and asked George to take you back. It's the least you deserve. You really think that there's something wrong with the way that I live? I just finished telling you how comfortable I was. I'm sorry if that was rude of me to say, but I just wanted to be honest with you and share my thoughts about what you could be doing. Maybe it's because I'm from the country and I'm used to having a wider space to live in. To be honest, it's been difficult for me to adjust living in this cramped city. I mean, I feel like a dog in a cage some days that I'm here, and I was just shocked the first time that I came over to your house. Oh, that's right. I forgot that you had moved here from Wisconsin. Was your house really that much bigger? I feel like I could probably fit at least 7 of your apartments in the old house that I grew up in back out there. But to see the house that Ben would have grown up in with you, well, it just kind of really bummed me out. That's why you have to get back together with George. Then there wouldn't be any need for you to live in this tiny apartment anymore. It's not like there aren't big places in the city. You just need more money to get there. Well, while I appreciate your suggestion, Trish, I really just have no intention at all of getting back together with George. It was one of the happiest days of my life when he and I were divorced. Besides, he cheated on me and left me to be with another woman. Why in the world would I want to get with someone who treated me so poorly in the past? Oh my gosh, Gina, I really can't believe how much you are missing the forest for the trees here. I mean, if you're not going to do this for yourself, then can you think of Ben and I at least? Think of all the ways that we could all use George's money. Are you really going to let your pride get in the way of your son's future prosperity? And just what is that supposed to mean? I mean that if you get back together with George, then Ben might have a chance of taking over Grape Co. when George steps down. And if he does that, then that means that I'll be the wife of a CEO and never ever have to work another day in my life. So please don't let your pride ruin the chances for me to have the dream life that I've always wanted to have. You really want to live in some fancy condo that badly, Trish? Well, it's not just that. I mean, think of what will happen at our wedding. So many rich people would be invited because of George, and we'd make out like bandits with cash gifts. Trish, I really don't think that you're thinking about this realistically. I mean, do you not think you're taking this fantasy just a little too far? Fantasy? The only one living in a fantasy is you if you really think that it's okay to live the way that you're living. This is your chance to escape from it all. I mean, how can you be blind to the sad life that you're living right now? I just can't understand why you think this is okay. Trish, I'm not saying that I don't see the points you're making. Yes, my apartment is rather small, and yes, I don't make all that much money. But the point is that it's my life, and I'm very comfortable where I am, so please stop trying to pressure me to change that.
Mom, are you there? It's just horrible. I can't believe it. Why didn't you ever tell me that my real dad was the CEO of a huge company?
I take it that Trish had something to do with this, didn't she?
Well, of course she did. She was the one who told me the whole truth about who my dad really is. I can't believe that I'm actually the son of Grape Co.'s own George Grape. And how could you hide this from me, Mom? What's the matter with you? I have a right to know this.
Ben, you've known who your father is this whole time, and I've told you that you don't want anything to do with that man. I know that he looks impressive on social media and all of that, but you don't know George like I do. I mean, when he left us behind, did you know that he even found a way to get out of paying child support?
I seriously can't believe that you're making excuses for yourself like this, Mom. What are you talking about? My dad gave me child support money all of the time. Or at least he tried to. But you were the one who always told him to take his money and never come back. But I know for a fact that my real dad never once forgot about me or chose to abandon me. And you have no idea how much pain it's caused me not being able to see him.
Don't tell me that you've actually found a way to reconnect with him.
I have, actually. In fact, Dad and I were just together earlier today, if you must know. It had been 20 years since you two divorced. I hadn't seen him since I was in elementary school. I can't even remember the last time I cried like that, but I did when I saw him today.
Ben, what is the matter with you? Why would you go and meet someone like that? He left us and never gave us a cent of child support, and he never once reached out to contact you.
You're not reading my messages, Mom. He did offer me money and has asked to meet me countless times, but that I never took him up on his offer was secretly crushing me this whole time. That's why I was so happy to finally get to meet him. He even gave me $20,000 as back pay.
What? Did he really give you that much money?
That's right. What else could you expect from someone as impressive as him? I mean, for him, $20,000 was probably like a penny or something. But I never ever had that much money in my life before. I didn't even know what to say to him.
Well, you should tell him to take his money back. I am serious. You don't want anything to do with that man. And you probably don't even want to know what he had to do for that money. I know that he seems great right now, but I am telling you that he is nothing but trouble.
You really think that I'm going to give the money back? It's my money. He said it was all the child support he would have paid me. And now you're trying to tell me that I'm not entitled to that. You're just jealous, aren't you? You're mad because I got the money and you didn't.
Ben, you can't be serious about this. You don't actually think that's why I'm upset about this, do you? I am your mother, and I am only saying this to you for your own good.
How is any of this for my own good? You're just saying whatever you can to make yourself seem good so you can try and brainwash me.
You don't actually think that's what I'm doing, right, Ben?
Of course it is. Ever since I was little, you've only ever talked bad about my dad. You called him a cheater and a cheapskate, and that's all I ever knew about him. But now that I finally met him and listened to his side of the story, I know that the divorce was actually all your fault. Dad never did anything wrong.
Oh, come on. You really are just going to believe that it's all my fault your father and I got divorced?
Of course. He told me all about how you never ever supported him and how that pushed him to cheat on you.
And you're really buying that story?
Dad told me it was always his dream to own his own company, but that you were always shooting his ideas down and telling him to give up on his dreams and get a real job. You made Dad feel cornered and alone, so it's only natural that he would resort to cheating on you the way that he did. And yet you still had the gall to play victim. That's why Dad finally realized that it was hopeless trying to fix things with you and ran off.
I can't believe that you're really buying all of this. I thought you were smarter than this, Ben.
All you had to do was be a good wife and help Dad chase his goals. But instead you chose to run him off, and that's why you have the life you have now. This is what you get for not being there for Dad when you should have been.
Is this all what George told you? Ben, you cannot believe a single word that man says to you. I gave birth to you. I raised you on my own for 20 years, and you really think that I've been doing it all to hide the truth about your father from you?
You really want to try and play the mom card now? You're nothing but a poor old lady. It's all your fault that I grew up in a broken home with no father. You should have been there for him, but instead you got mad over an affair you forced him into. I could have been next in the line to take over his company.
And just what is wrong with the life I gave you growing up? I never remember you complaining about anything when you were a child. I was always there for you, always did my best to provide for you, and never ever had to send you to bed without making sure you'd eaten that day. I may only work part-time, but over my time working, I strived for any chance at career advancements and raises that I could get. I was even earning as much as a regular employee at my company for a while.
Oh, just shut up already. I'm sick and tired of you trying to spin the truth for me. I don't care how hard you say you worked. You still lied to me, and you stole my chance at a good life. I could have been driving fast cars, traveling the world, making tons of money, and instead we had to live together in your tiny little apartment.
I did all that I could for you. Why are you acting this way?
You read this message well, Mom. You're nothing but a poor old lady pretending to be someone she's not. I wish I'd grown up with Dad instead of you. I'm never, ever going to come back to your tiny little apartment ever again.
Ben, please, you are acting absurd. I mean, you're really going to abandon your mother to be with your father who was never there for you?
That's right. I'm going to be with him, and he's going to take me in and give me a job, and then I'll be living in a huge condo. I'll be able to give Trish everything she wants, and we'll go and live with Dad in his penthouse. We'll eat out every night and never have to worry about how the poor live ever again.
Well, fine then. You're an adult and you're free to choose how you want to live. If that's what you want, then I won't stop you. But please, never say that you'll never come back home. I'll always be here for you, Ben.
No, I don't need to ever go back, and I won't. And I don't need you either. You're no mother of mine, so don't even bother showing up to my wedding.
Ben, please, you can't be serious about this, right?
Oh, I am. Now have a nice life, Mom. I never want to see you again.
Good morning, Gina. I'm sure that you know today is the day that Ben and I are going to get married. Yes, I am aware of that. Can I ask just why you're messaging me about it? Well, it's just that Ben wanted me to remind you that you aren't welcome at our wedding. I know that he told you already, but he wanted me to as well, so we could really drive it home. Just so you know that we aren't joking, and you better not be there. So you mean that you're really okay with this too? You don't care at all that your mother-in-law is banned from your own wedding? Of course I'm fine with it. I have no issue with that at all. In fact, I never wanted you here in the first place. Do you have any idea how embarrassing it is to think about just how poor my mother-in-law is? And so you two are still so convinced about how poor I am, huh? And you're still trying to convince yourself that you're not? Just seeing the state of your house, it was too obvious. But I'm not going to hang around and let my marriage be weighed down by a poor old woman like you. All my friends have great relationships with their mothers-in-law. Some of them even give my friends money as an allowance, and they told them they'd never ever need any nursing or help when they're older. But you, it's obvious that when you're older, you're going to be demanding money from Ben and I, so it's obviously better to get rid of you now. I see. Well, I guess I wasn't aware that you felt so strongly on the matter. It's really not even a choice when you think about it. A poor old mother-in-law or a rich and successful father-in-law. George is going to be our ticket to the top. He's going to let Ben take over his company, and then we'll be living in the lap of luxury for the rest of our lives. I can't believe that Ben is really choosing to live as George's son rather than my own. Are you really? I'm not. I'd make the same choice if I were him. Well, fine then. I'll skip going to your wedding, but I'm not sure you won't regret it. And just why in the world would we do that, huh? I'm done having this conversation with you. You both are adults, and if this is how you want to live your lives, then fine. You think it's not obvious how upset you are over this? Maybe if you showed up to the wedding crying and begging us to let you in, we might change our minds. Oh, I'm afraid I won't be the one crying by the end of this, but you just might be. You're not making any sense at all. What could possibly make me regret marrying Ben when he's going to be rich? You're just a jealous old woman trying to hold on to what's around her as it slips around your fingers. Have a nice lonely life, you old hag. Oh no, what's going on? I am so upset. You have to do something to save this wedding, Gina. Oh no, what's the matter? Don't tell me that things aren't going the way that you planned. What? How did you know? Who told you? Don't tell me it's already on the TV. Apparently George's company is actually on the verge of bankruptcy. Not only that, but he's being sued for fraud since apparently he tried to scam people. Yeah, I did hear about it on the TV, actually. I heard that George is being accused of swindling people out of $60 million. It was also some kind of big investment scam or something like that, yes? But instead, he took all of the money invested and left nothing to show for it to the investors. That's not all, though. George told Ben that he was going to let him take over the company. But now that Ben is all wrapped up in this, we have a bunch of reporters outside our house. They've been there since this morning. Oh, wow. Well, that's really rough for you, isn't it? But that's not the worst of it. The worst is that George managed to escape from the apartment. We have no idea where he is, and he's not picking up our calls. So now we're being accused as conspirators of George. Wow. Well, it sounds to me like you two played right into his hand then, didn't you? But at least you got that $20,000 that George gave to Ben, right? I just hope it doesn't come out that that money was dirty as well. No. You don't think that George was trying to set us up all along, do you? Please, you have to do something to save us. I thought we had finally made it, and then right after our wedding, the news broke. And you two really weren't suspicious of anything at all? You thought you were being handed all this on a silver platter? You should have warned us about George. You should have told us not to trust him. How many times did I tell you why George and I didn't work out? I told you that he lied to and cheated and stole from Ben and I and then ran away with another woman. I told Ben not to take George's money and not to listen to a single thing that liar had to tell him. But you two were so happy at the prospect of a little money and were so quick to blame me for all of your troubles. You two wanted it this way, and now you have to live with it. But don't you dare say that I didn't do enough to warn you. So, good luck. Sounds like you both are going to need it. Good luck? Is that really all you have to say to us? You're really not going to do anything to help us at all? Can't you at least come here and pick us up so that we can escape this sea of reporters outside of George's house? I'm sorry, but you both made it very clear that you wanted nothing to do with me ever again. And now you're asking a poor old woman like me to help you out? Please, you have to realize that the circumstances were different. I didn't realize what we were getting into. Yes, that much is obvious. But since you've made it clear that you don't want me to be a part of your family, I don't see why I should help either of you. I did my best to warn you, did my best to be honest with you about my intentions, and all I got back for it was insulting words and a betrayal by my own son. You tell Ben that he'll always be my boy, but that he is going to have to work his own way out of this. And maybe someday, when he's thought long and hard about what he's done, I'll be ready to speak to him again. Please, you can't just leave us like this. Don't you get that we're in way over our heads? How can you say that you love your son if you're not going to come and help us right now? How can you just leave us like this? Please, Gina, we're supposed to be family. You can't do this. You need to come here and save us. It was a couple days later that I saw on the news that George had finally been caught and arrested for all his crimes. He had run back to his hometown and was hiding in his childhood home when the police found him. Apparently, the person who had given him up was actually the very woman that George cheated on me with. She had also gotten caught up in his schemes and wasn't about to go down alone. George and Trish continued to beg me for help, but as George's trial continued, it came out that the two of them really did have nothing to do with what happened. The two of them, however, came under intense criticism online as it was revealed in the trial that they abandoned me because they thought George was wealthy. And before long, just about everyone knew who Ben and Trish were and what they had done. With no home to go back to and no dream job as a CEO, the two of them decided to pack up what they had and flee town. I haven't heard from Ben since then, but I know that when he's ready, he'll find me.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.